Hey guys, welcome again to the VersaTalks podcast. Today's episode, we are going to be talking about the top 5 mistakes unsuccessful franchisees make in a franchise system. So today's episode is about helping franchisees avoid common pitfalls and set themselves up for success. We want you guys to be successful running your own business, no matter what brand it is that you're in or what brand it is that you're considering joining. So a little bit about me, if you don't know by now, my name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the CEO and founder of a brand called VersaGym. We are in at-home services. We are at-home personal trainers, but with a unique twist because we bring the gym on wheels, the mobile gym, to clients' homes. And right now I do oversee multiple franchise locations. We're in 4 different markets across Florida and Texas. So I'm just speaking here from the heart, speaking from experience and what I see talking to other franchisors as well about franchisees, and also from talking to other franchisees from other brands. I think the number one mistake franchisees make is the lack of commitment to the franchise system, right? Whether they potentially underestimated the time commitment that it was going to take to run their business. Maybe they underestimated the capital that was required to maintain their business afloat until they got to break even. It's a plethora of different reasons why, franchisees start to lack commitment to the franchise system. And again, all of these mistakes, right? We're talking about a franchise system that is supporting their franchisees as much as possible, right? We're not talking about franchisees that are in a failing system or a system that ignores and fails to help and guide their franchisees through their business journey. We're talking about franchise systems with franchisees that have these mistakes in place. I think with the lack of commitment, right, you have ignoring the proven systems and processes provided by the franchisor. And so you got to understand, when you join a franchise system, there's proven systems and processes that have worked in other locations. So that franchisor is going to provide you with those systems and processes and give you to-do lists according to what's worked in other markets and in other locations. Don't get me wrong, there might be things that will not go as planned. There might be things that maybe don't work as well in your market as opposed to other markets that the franchisor has been involved with in the past. But just because something is not perfect does not mean that the systems and processes that this franchisor has in place do not work. Sometimes they just need to be refined, especially, franchising is almost like a marriage. It's a business relationship, right? Where both the franchisee and the franchisor are either in a 5, 10, 15, or 20-year agreement. And you have to work cohesively together to make sure that the brand is growing in your particular location. And so, not following the systems and the processes is one of the main things that I see with franchisees that are not doing well. Sometimes it comes just from a lack of knowledge, a lack of business acumen, where this franchisee has never been in business before. Maybe they had no business getting into a franchise agreement of 5 or 10 years. Sometimes as franchisees, you have to just realize that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to follow what the franchisor wants you to do. And then if you do have some great ideas, the best franchisors, they will listen to your thoughts, to your concerns, and implement things into their systems. If you had a good idea, they will do that. And so, of course, you have consequences of this is, you have wasted time, you have inefficiencies, and you have missed opportunities, right? When franchisees are not committed and are not buying into the franchise system, you get leads that go missed. You get employees of those franchisees that are not happy, right? It's all sorts of, downsides and negatives that come with franchisees that are not bought in to the franchise's mission and to their systems. Solution for this is simple. Trust the system, follow the playbook, and stay aligned with the brand's vision, right? There's nothing wrong with pitching in a new idea to the franchisor, but if you're trying to completely reinvent everything that the franchisor has done in the past successfully in other locations, I mean, it's just not going to work. Mistake number two that we see is poor financial management, right? So mismanaging cash flow, failing to stick to a budget, or underestimating initial investment requirements. And really, this is more so a lack of, working on your books, or a lack of financial literacy, right? Or over optimism. And so the biggest thing here is, I tell my franchisees, if you have no financial literacy in terms of keeping business books, right? And usually the franchisees don't, because they've never launched a business before, or they've always had a bookkeeper or CPA do it. That's what I tell them. If you don't know how to do your business books, just hire a CPA, right? Don't try to do everything 100% yourself. There's very cheap virtual CPAs, virtual bookkeepers, and also just, local people and family members even, that you can go to that can help keep your books. And so doing this and learning how to delegate is a big, big key to running a successful business and becoming a thriving business owner. So obviously consequences with this, you have mounting debt, inability to cover expenses, or just total business failure. Right. And the solution for this is, you need to invest in either financial education, or invest in delegating and hiring a virtual bookkeeper, a virtual CPA, or just an in-person bookkeeper or CPA if your business is thriving, right? Or if your business allows for that, if your expenses and capital allows for that, right? Another good thing is for this, just maintain a reserve fund, maintain working capital. And most franchisors will set up their franchisees with a working capital requirement to help get them through those first couple months while they get to break even in their franchise. Third mistake that we see a lot is poor marketing and lead generation. So again, this kind of goes back to not buying into the systems. So if the franchisor is telling you need to run Google ads, if the franchisor is telling you need to contact so-and-so so they can get your Google ads running properly, if the franchisor is telling you that you need to do X amount of events and X type of events within X amount of time, and you're not doing those things, right? It's going to lead to a bad business. You're not going to have leads. If you don't have leads, you can't convert them into paying customers. If you don't have paying customers, you can't pay payroll. If you can't pay payroll, you can't pay your franchise fees and royalties. And it just goes on and on down the line, where you just will have a failing business, right? So sometimes, we get franchisees that are really, really good with, following some of the systems, and then potentially they might try to instill their own marketing playbook into their business. And then they're surprised when their business is not generating as many leads as they want to. Well, again, it goes back to following those franchise systems and everything that the franchisor has planned for you that has been working in other markets. But like anything, franchising doesn't mean you're going to be, a passive investor in buying Amazon or Tesla stock. Franchising is you own this business, and the franchisor was upfront with you, and the franchise agreement clearly outlined your responsibilities and clearly outlined whether you were an owner operator or if you were a semi-absentee owner or whatnot. But at the end of the day, as a franchise owner, you are 100% responsible for your business, but you're not in business alone, because you have a franchisor and a franchising system that has already created the playbook for you, but you have to follow it, right? If you don't follow it, it's not going to work. So a big mistake is just relying solely on the franchisor's marketing. Most franchise brands will have some sort of national marketing fund, or national marketing campaign, but you need to also do some, reinvestment back into your business, into local marketing. Most franchisees also underestimate the importance of building a local presence with VersaGym. That's one of the biggest things that we try to instill into our franchisees. Building that local presence, taking the mobile gyms to different stores, businesses, country clubs, all over town, really helps drive awareness to the brand and generate a ton of leads. And all it costs usually is time. And if it does cost payroll, usually it's just a few hours of that employee's time as well. So it is a no-brainer. Our mobile gyms are rolling billboards. The amount of leads that we get just from driving around is amazing. So of course, with lack of marketing, you get low customer acquisition and weak brand awareness in the territory. And then you have an issue here where the franchisor is not going to be happy with you, If you're not generating leads, not investing back into your marketing, not following the franchise playbook and the operations manual, then you are going to have a weak brand awareness in your territory. And if you have a weak brand awareness, the franchisor is not going to be happy because this franchisor sold you that territory for you to maximize it and take the brand to the next level in that territory, right? So now you see the relationships start falling apart there. So the solution for this is simple. Be proactive in executing local marketing strategies and leveraging support from the franchisor. That's the thing. When you sign a franchise agreement, use your franchisor as much as possible, right? You should be constantly texting, calling, emailing them. If you don't have a thriving business within their system, you should be trying to sponge out as much knowledge from them and their field coaches or whoever it is that is helping them run the franchise system. You should be trying to get as much help from them as possible. If you're not doing well and you're never talking to the franchisor, that's just another reason why your business is going to fail. Mistake number 4, franchisees that neglect employees and neglect client relationships. Everything in life, guys, no matter what business, what franchise, what brand, what systems you're in, is all about relationships, right? So if you're neglecting your employees, treating them sort of like a dictatorial communist, right? If you're not building relationships with your clients, or if you're a business owner and you have a manager, making sure your manager goes above and beyond for your clients, goodie bags for Christmas, small little birthday gift cards, right? Like just building a relationship with your clients, hosting a brunch once a year or once every 6 months and inviting all your clients out, right? Even if they have to pay for their own food, but whatever, at least you're building some sort of community within your business, right? And so that is huge. The best business owners learn and know how to build community within their clientele and within their employees. And employee retention will go through the roof if you actually learn how to build, culture within your franchise. So mistakes here we see: failing to hire and retain the right team or provide excellent customer service. Obviously they're not dedicating enough time to leadership and team building, or not prioritizing customer feedback. So if you're a franchisor and you have weekly meetings, if you're a franchisee and you have weekly meetings with your manager or your employee and you're skipping those meetings, right? The employee is not going to be more motivated than you as the owner to go out and make this business work. So if you're constantly missing meetings, constantly rescheduling, or going back on your word, the employee is not going to be very stoked to work for you, right? So you cannot let this be the case in your business if you want to succeed. So of course, consequences here is high employee turnover, poor client retention, and damage to the franchise reputation, right? Again, now the franchisor is also upset. You have constant people that are, you have constant employees that are quitting, talking badly about the brand, specifically because they had a bad employment encounter with this specific franchise. Then you have poor client retention. So you have people who are paying customers of this franchise who did not have a good experience with this franchise and now leave bad reviews or talk down locally about the brand because they had a bad encounter with that bad franchisee. And this is the thing. It's like McDonald's. When you walk into McDonald's, it just takes one bad hamburger for you to never go back to any McDonald's in the entire world. Well, franchising and franchise systems is exactly the same. It just takes one bad personal trainer in our company to give someone a bad experience. And no matter where they go in the United States, where they move to, or what friends they have in other cities, they will never, ever recommend Versagym ever again. And most likely they will talk about the bad experience that they had within our system. So we always strive to never let this be the case. So solution here is simple. Invest in employee training and community building. Create a positive work culture, prioritize excellent client experiences. And the last one here, guys, lack of consistent communication with the franchisor, right? And we talked about this earlier, but obviously you're not leveraging the franchisor's support and expertise, or failing to participate in the meetings and in the updates. And again, if you're a failing franchisee, right, if you're not leveraging the franchisor's support, if you're not answering emails and calls from the franchise team, you're never going to get better. You're never going to improve, because this franchisor, right, they have the playbook. they're here to help you. And if you don't let them help you, if the franchisor gives you a 10 item to-do list and you do one or two, right, your franchise is just not going to be successful. It's not going to be what you think or what you thought it was. Right. Sometimes this happens because people have fear of asking for help or assuming the franchisor won't care about individual struggles. This couldn't be any further from the truth. You have to remember that your franchisor was once in your shoes and they had a brand new business that they had to get from zero to break even and then to profitable. And so you have to remember the franchisor has been there. They're there to help you. And so, of course, if you're constantly missing meetings, you're going to miss out on valuable insights, resources, and networking opportunities, right? A lot of times what happens in the VersaGym system is we get high performing franchisees that pour into our lower performing or our newer franchisees to help them establish their business, give them credible tips, right? And our high performing franchisees tell our lower performing franchisees or our new franchisees to call them that, hey, I am a high performing VersaGym franchisee. Feel free to call me, email me, any questions or anything that you have. We're here to help you. And so the best franchise systems have that networking and that cohesiveness where they help each other grow and build, because it's all for the same reason, to grow the VersaGym brand and impact as many lives as possible through health and fitness. Obviously, the solution here is franchisees need to stay in regular contact with the franchisor. They need to participate in training and build a collaborative relationship. Again, it's like a marriage. Guys, in anything that you do, especially business ownership, you need to have an emphasis on self-awareness, adaptability, and you just need to commit to the franchise system. So I encourage you, reflect on your own franchise operations or on your own business aspirations, guys. And if you want to connect with us here at VersaGym, we have some amazing territories available up for grabs. So feel free to email us, franchising@versagym.com. You can also reach out to me, carlos@versagym.com. And so, guys, wish you nothing but the best and have a great rest of your day. Appreciate it.